Yo, Joe!
Hello everybody and welcome back to another figure review. As you can see, I could not contain my excitement for this figure, the Cobra Techno-Viper. He's one of my favorite designs when it comes to the Vipers. But we have Cobra logo number 117, 117 down here. I love this art of the Techno-Viper, especially those sort of lenses just sort of shining through. Looks very cool. There's the side, here's the back. He's sort of in the city, checking his diagrams. Cobra Techno-Viper, his skills and abilities, and a few zoom in shots. But with that being said, that is the packaging itself. Let me bring out the figure, and here we have a figure. Yeah, this guy looks amazing. And here we have his vintage figure, so you guys can get that side by side. We're definitely missing that two-tone color we see with this guy, so it's more of like a pinkish and then the purple. But I still love the design and, color on this guy. And we do see that sort of two-tone a bit. They just kind of switched it up. This is more like black, very dark purple, and then this got darkened up a little bit. Compared to this, where you can see the plain like dark, sort of almost blue purple, and then this is a much lighter purple. So I hope we get a retro carded version of this guy, and with these colors, I would really love that. That would be a great retro card to have. But with that being said, I love this guy. But first, let's look at his accessories, which isn't too many. I mean, we do have a fair amount, but they're nothing too crazy. We have a reuse of the bat pistol here. You can port blast effects on it. So yeah, no two-tone color for the pistol. Bit unfortunate. We have his different tools to fix up the HISS tank, because these guys are, supposed to help in fixing the HISS tank. But here we have different tools. We have sort of a hammer, wrench, and another kind of wrench. Sculpted nicely. They are very pliable, very bendy. But yeah, so nice detail going on with these. It looks very nice. We have this sort of laser rifle, and then you do have a port for blast effects, which is nice, but you see the little sort of peg sticking out, and each of the tools have a peg, so you can, port this hose onto them, and you can port it onto the gun as well. The idea is that you have this back piece, which the hose is supposed to connect to. I assume one of these valves as such. And, it's supposed to power up his tools and his weapon and all that sort of thing. So that's very nice to have there. The back piece itself has some nice details going for it. There's a little like radio here. You have the slots here for storage for your tools. Just flip them in there and they hold very nicely, and we'll put another one in there, so that looks very cool. You have this sort of valve here on the side. Again, the two pegs there for the two canisters, and your peg there, and this sort of handle here, for him to carry around. But that mostly does it for the accessories. I mean, you have the hose with the silver paint and some detail there, and then you also get this sort of hologram diagram, which is very transparent. You can see through it, but you just have different data going on this thing, different information they can check on. And these do port on either side of this gauntlet, so you have this side here with some nice detailing there going on, but you see the hole here, and you can port this on there and make him check the data that he needs to check. And the same goes for this side. You have some nice Cobra text there, Cobra logo in there. You can remove it, put it on this side if you want, and now he can look at this arm. So yeah, very fun accessories. This guy, in terms of detail, looks fantastic. You have those same tubes running around the back over here, more tubes running over his shoulder. The gauntlets are a separate piece, so they shift, but there's no forearm movement. I believe this is all new sculpt, so we love to see new sculpt, new knee pads, legs, a new sort of belt piece with holster, and the boots look amazing and new. Hands, I believe, are new. They may be reused from the Techno-Viper, I'm not too sure. New shoulder pad pieces, looks amazing. And then the head sculpt, you know, one of my favorite aspects of his design is the helmet itself. It just looks amazing. Yeah, mine has a few paint QC issues, you know, there's like some yellow paint rubbing or bleeding onto the helmet over here. But you know, from a distance you won't notice that, so I'm fine with that. A little bit of a mess here with the silver, you know, kind of bleeding onto the black, but again, from a distance you won't notice that so much. But yeah, I just really love this guy. In terms of articulation, he can look up a fair amount and down fairly enough. He doesn't have a lot of pivoting, but he does have some pivoting, and he can look side to side. Now the shoulder pads here are not attached to the arm, but you do have the straps that kind of wrap around the shoulder there. But there is a loop inside the shoulder joint, so it turns with the arm, and once you extend the arm upward, it gets out of the way very nicely. These do kind of stick out a little bit. It doesn't look too nice, but it's some good range, and it's a good implementation of the shoulder pads. I hope we see more of that with other characters that also have shoulder pads. You have some nice butterfly joints in there. You do have your bicep swivels hidden under the shoulder pad. You do get some tight double jointed arms, but they articulate very well. Both hands are horizontal, so they hinge in and out as such. The torso on this guy is amazing. He can crunch forward about that much with this ab crunch, which isn't very much. He can go back much further, but crunch that forward and the waist, and you get some pretty decent, going forward, at least compared to other figures that we've gotten with classified. So that's some good range, and he can go back obviously very well. You have that pivoting in the waist, and then you can turn. That's very nice. You can kick forward about that much, outward about that much. You'll have your thigh swivel, your double jointed knees, and he can kick his own ass with his boots. It's a bit ugly there, the hinge being black and then the rest of the pants being purple, but it doesn't bother me too much. You have your boot swivel there. Boot goes back very far, forward very far, and he does have ankle pivot. So a lot of great articulation with this guy, tons of detail with this guy. I am just very happy with how this guy turned out. So there you guys have it. That is my review on the Techno-Viper here. I'm very happy that they finally, tackled this Viper member. Very happy with the color, the accessories, and just everything. In terms of articulation, works well. Everything is smooth, a little too smooth for my taste. Some things feel a little too loose, but I'm all here for it. I prefer loose than super tight, because super tight may end up breaking some stuff. But yeah, I'm just super happy with this figure. Let me know what you guys think of this figure. But with that being said, it's time to rank this wave overall. So let me bring out the rest of the crew. So here we have all the rest of this wave, or the characters of this wave, I should say. A nice balance. We get 2 Cobra members and 2 Joe members. So it's a nice even cut on, G.I.Joe and Cobra. my number one of the wave is obviously the Techno-Viper. And then from there, I would say Big Boa is my second favorite from this wave. And then from there, it would be Airborne, back over there. And then we have last Quick Kick. Don't get me wrong, Quick Kick is a great figure. He poses amazing, but he was my least anticipated from this wave. I know the Techno-Viper for me was my most anticipated, and I'm happy he's here. Big Boa is just an interesting character, so I was excited to see him in Classified. And you know, Airborne is just your standard military looking dude, so you know, if you're into that, you know, Airborne is there for that. But yeah, for me, Techno-Viper and Big Boa are my top two. Third is Airborne, and Quick Kick is my last one. With that being said, what do you guys think of this wave? Did you guys get all the figures or characters? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in a future video.